So today I'd like to introduce you to a lovely lady. I like to call her the Queen of Inventory. Her name is Carrie Sher. Today we're going to, in this session, address the fundamentals of inventory management and demand planning. It represents our greatest short-term benefit versus cost. Understanding the fundamentals, if you have products to supply, you have no power to move your business forward. If you can't supply your products when the customer needs it, you don't sell and you don't survive. Carrie, take us off.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Phil. So, if I could just ask a question, how many people in the room either manage inventory or are with an entity that manages inventory or knows someone or affiliated with inventory management? Okay, a decent amount, great. So what I'm going to try to do is, this has been an unbelievable conference, forum. So those of you that don't love inventory and inventory optimization as a subject matter, I'm going to attempt to keep you enthralled. So I am very passionate about inventory. I started my career in a corporate environment, moved into independent consulting within both the distressed transformation and optimization space. And I now work directly for a company called Netstock. And I actually met Netstock when they were in the infancy stage. And when we talk about pioneering technology, they really were at the forefront. They were a cloud-based system that understood what the client or customer wanted, needed, and translated those needs and wants into a physical platform that was easy to use. Now, I know this is all jargon, but it truly does have the most impactful method when you understand what you can do with inventory. So what is it that Netstock does, and why is it important? So most companies that I worked for in my previous life, I'm actually 21, supply chain has aged me exponentially. It's a very, very difficult industry because things are always rapidly changing. In fact, yesterday when I was on a panel session, I read a McKinsey report last week that stated if there's a supply chain disruption of just 1 month, that's it could actually erode EBITDA by 30 to 50%. Now that is frightening. So what we're learning about in terms of AI and advancements is incredible, but if you don't have the foundation, it means nothing. On a balance sheet, inventory is actually, if not property, plant, and equipment, the second highest asset on that company's balance sheet. So why not optimize? So we at Netstock are an online platform. We connect directly into a whole host of ERPs, some of which we'll show you some case studies today. And we pull live information. Now, as a consultant, for my sins again, just remember, I was working for banks, I was working for credit institutions, and it would take me hours, if not days, to compile information because it's not readily available. Now, once again, I stress again that we can have all the bells and whistles, but if we don't have the right information that's easily accessible, it means nothing. So Netstock online platform, direct integration. We've got 19,000 active users globally. We've got 400 years of supply chain experience, and that's ground level supply chain experience. We work across 2,700 clients, and we manage about $17 billion worth of inventory. We are global. We were a proudly started South African company, hence the reason why I met them. And we have a belief that we want in-country support, sales, onboarding, and professional services. And why that's critical is if anyone's in the supply chain game, the landscapes, the bureaucracy is very different, and you need to have the geographical knowledge. So we all know how important compliance is. We're dealing with a lot of big data. ISO 27001, we now are accredited. So that's very important for a lot of our clients. And today I want to talk to you about the craziness that we've seen in inventory. Now, can you imagine, I walk into a global aviation entity and I'm in their facility, looking at their engines, which are spare parts, and looking at all the little, tiny little screws that fit into some arb area of an aircraft. And I say to them, so what do you do to manage your inventory? And they go, well, we've got this archaic system that does that. Not quite an archaic system, did they say to me, but that's what, after spending a little bit of time looking at the system, that's exactly what it was. And very quickly you realize that this is a billion-dollar environment, and they are placing orders based on policies from years ago. So when we talk about agility, we talk about flexibility. I don't use those words just, nonchalantly. It is so absolutely critical for you to be able to know, last week, if I look at history, we're looking at a lead time of 5 months. But in a month's time, if I look at the same trends, it might have changed exponentially. And you don't want to do this manually, trust me. You're dealing with thousands of SKUs. Even if you're a small company, you've got a phenomenal skill set out there. Why would you want to be doing mundane tasks? And that's exactly what Netstock or any good demand planning tool should give you. Now, of course, I'm going to say to you, Netstock's, in my opinion, the best of breed. I've had the advantage of seeing multiple different environments. And when you look at the complexity that we work in and that we're able to provide really transparent data based on, we will then take algorithms and overlay that, and there's a lot of intelligence as to how do we manage working capital. Now, again, not the most exciting of subjects, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're able to save a small company. Now, do you know how many expenses you would have to reduce if that was the case? So we believe that predictability in this era of change is critical. So all our algorithms will be able to have a look at your history and will use analytics in order to predict future trends. And that's really where we want to present ourselves today as one of the differentiations from what you would do in what I would call Excel hell. We're very simple to use, we're going to capture loyalty, and also we've got those nice capital savings. Now, I don't want to talk too much. I want to show you the physical product. I believe that this product sells itself because the value proposition is so strong. But you can see that we're able to sometimes save upwards of 35% of working capital. Now, 35% changes a business. And I come from an environment where I worked with distressed businesses, and inventory, sadly enough, was one of the reasons why businesses went from really healthy into administration. And sometimes they just lagged in profit, but I'm giving you the extremities. Either way, if you don't manage the segment of your business, you are not gaining benefit. So we work across multiple different industries: distribution, wholesale, retail, manufacturing, mining, construction, pharma, food. If it's inventory, we can optimize that. So we're going to go into a video of exactly what Netstock does, and then I want to get to a point where people ask questions. What are your issues? What do you want to see? We're doing some amazing stuff in AI as well that we'll show you within our demos. And we also want to show you what we do from an output perspective. Dashboards. We've got incredible suggested orders. We're going to reconfigure your entire stock holding. And this is at a press of a button. So you can be as in the system as you want or as hands-off, because we all realize that people don't want to spend a lot of time with big data, and that's why AI is out there now. Our value offerings. So ultimately, what do? We reduce ordering time by 70%. I walked into a CEO's office of a listed entity, and I said to him, "What are you doing?" And he said to me, "Carrie, I'm just vetting orders." It broke my heart. So if that's the case in a listed entity, more than likely it's the case, and we have seen it in mid-level to smaller entities as well, and we work across the board. From an automation perspective, one source of truth. We're a best-of-breed solution. And we're going to give you a platform that isn't something where key man risk is a concern. We want to reduce stockouts on average to about 15%, and we reduce excess stock to about 35%. forecast accuracy is something no one even measures. How would you be able to measure forecast accuracy if you're working off of manual data?
Today's supply chains face continuous complexities and unforeseen events. Netstock is designed to help businesses navigate these challenges and plan for the future through its two solutions, Netstock Predictor IA and Netstock Predictor IBP. Netstock helps businesses worldwide with demand and supply planning and supports S&OP processes. Netstock Predictor IA is an inventory optimization solution that helps SMBs reduce excess inventory, minimize stockouts, place orders quicker, and ultimately unlock operating cash. Using data from your ERP, Netstock Predictor IA helps demand planners achieve and maintain optimal inventory levels in order to meet demand. Set inventory policy in line with your business goals based on each product's classification and risk profile. Model and measure the impact of different policy decisions to reduce the risk of overstocking or stockouts. Automatically generate optimal orders based on your data-driven policy and seamlessly feed that order back into your ERP system. The personalized dashboard enables you to see critical inventory KPIs at a glance, enabling rapid responses to changes in supply and demand. Netstock Predictor IA's Opportunity Engine is an AI-powered assistant that offers real-time recommendations across all locations, ensuring that critical issues are addressed instantly. Take control of your inventory management across multiple locations with excess redistribution. Innovative functionality that analyzes inventory levels across multiple locations and identifies surplus stock, enabling you to seamlessly redistribute stock to where it's needed most. With Netstock Predictor IA, demand planners have the confidence that they're placing the correct orders at the correct time, ensuring they meet demand. Netstock Predictor IBP is a solution that helps medium-sized businesses with advanced planning. Facilitate a seamless sales and operations planning process with flexible and dynamically adjustable views in your preferred units, whether it's currency for finance, purchasing units for supply, or selling units for sales. Netstock Predictor IBP's Demand Planner module leverages both quantitative and qualitative forecasting. Let the system choose the best forecast algorithm for each item, and then adjust for promotions, exceptions, or any other human-based insights you may have. Machine learning is also available to further enhance your forecasts. With the Supply Planning module, you can do time-phased production and procurement planning, incorporating multi-layered BOMs and DRP links. Ensure that you have sufficient inventory to meet demand with a comprehensive material requirements plan. The Capacity Planner module helps you assess future available capacity against demand. Use our optimization model to find feasible solutions and ensure you meet your production goals. Netstock Predictor IBP is scalable and flexible, supplying large volumes of items, customers, and locations. It's designed for rapid deployment and easy integration. Discover how Netstock can transform your business and accelerate your supply chain planning. Visit www.netstock.com to learn more.
Okay, so you can see the functionality is very impressive. The usability is very impressive. And I would like to say a huge thank you to Phil and Courtney and the entire Connection team, because I always say exposure is knowledge. So Simon's conversation yesterday morning, for those that weren't there, you might have heard some people go, ooh, and ah, and he spoke about those elements. And that's, for me, the critical key of Netstock, is exposing you to the art of the possible. I'm not a salesperson, I always say this, I'm a die-hard ops person at heart, because I know what works and what doesn't work. And that's why I'm so thankful for bringing the ability to bring us to your event today to share our experience with you.
Make inventory management sexy, but that was actually not too bad. I didn't mind that. We're going to take it to questions now, but I have one quick question to the crowd. Who's doing like inventory management with like Excel spreadsheets? Can you raise a hand? Anyone doing that right now? All right, we've got one Alex Potts over there. Good.
Alex, we need to chat.
Yeah, we need to chat. We need to chat there. But yeah, that's always a hassle. Double data handling, one of the biggest things. So it's good to see that Netstock has, yeah, a nice platform in place that can really optimize that side of things, because the cost and benefit ratio is huge. One quick question is, what improvements have you seen in working capital since implementing agile demand planning strategies?
Okay, so what does that mean? That means that if there's changes to the economy, if there's changes in your landscape, maybe a competitor's coming in, maybe a competitor's gone out, there could be a crisis like COVID or a volcano that's stopping freight coming out of Europe. I had to deal with that. That was lots of fun. But ultimately, it's being able to work really quickly in extreme situations, and even in normal run-of-mill, day-to-day business, you're going to have changes. So our platform allows you to bring in all those constraints very quickly in a front end to say, I want to extend the lead time for the supplier in this location for this product by, and let's have a lead time of 20 days. I mean, that's incredible. To be able to crunch that in, once again, in Excel is difficult. We work with a whole host of different systems. I mean, we've got clients on SAP, we've got clients on NetSuite, we've got clients on MyOb, we've got clients on Sage, and they all feel that our system is best of breed. They're really able to attain those savings. And more importantly, as I said, it's that transparency. If I could ask the gentleman who works in Excel, could you tell me roughly what your forecasting accuracy rates are?
What's forecasting?
Exactly. So as I said, however incredible it is, and I did sit there this morning and I looked at these amazing programs and I thought, now I've got to come up on stage and speak to you and get you all, hyped up about inventory. But it's the fundamentals. The technology's out there to solve the fundamentals. And now we start investing in AI. And we can take you on the journey. We've got the supply chain knowledge, so we're very much aware that we don't want to bombard you with too much complexity. You'll get an onboarding specialist. As I said, they know the landscape, and that's how we're able to retain our clients.
Yeah. Alex?
Well, given that we're doing some things in Excel, the big thing for us is temporary availability or temporary hire of quite a large inventory. So it's not just sending materials out from the warehouses, it's then tracking those over time across a highly distributed range of client sites, but then returning that, understanding what our wastage is, and controlling that inventory on a client site, which is why it's great to have the back-end database, but when it gets to controlling of materials in an external facility, is there capability to do that and deal with hire or wastage or sale to repurchase?
So what we do is we're going to pull information. So I always say, let's start with the basics. Let's get your head office and the starting point correct. Because if you don't start there, you're never going to get the rest right. And a lot of my clients will go, but we got this complexity, we can't do that. And I said, let's just scale back. Let's just start at basic point. And then we can get to a point that if we've got the data at those sites, and I mean, once you start chatting to your onboarding consultant, they're going to say to you, do you do hub and spoke distribution? Are you looking potentially at a stock count process in those sites? So even if we're not able to satisfy that requirement, we're providing value. So yes, we deal with multi-sites. We can manage at all levels. We can disaggregate downwards, aggregate upwards, so we can help. Without a doubt, we can assist. But it's about understanding that first prize. And another thing that I love is we can show you exactly what your stock holding will look like over the course of 12 to 24 months. We'll show you, and this is all crystal ball, but it's going to give you a decent reflection of what it will do. You can have a look at what your anticipated demand will be, your anticipated procurement, what's coming into your various warehouses. So you've got a whole collaborative approach now that you never would have had before. And we work with very sophisticated systems. I mean, during my consulting years, we've taken out SAP systems and put in Netstock because they're just so complex. They're so powerful and they're so complex that it's just not workable. And it's the same thing with resource. I'm sorry if I'm going on. You can hear, I love this. I can talk to you for the next 4 days, which I don't think anyone would appreciate. But when you look at resource, it's so difficult to find resource with experience. And we're very cognizant of that. So we can plug this in and show any level and upskill any level.
Would I say, what's the worst thing about inventory? Is it stock takes? Who does stock takes here? Is that the worst thing out there? I don't know.
Probably planning orders.
Planning orders is worse? I don't know. Yeah. Anyone else have any more questions? We've got Richard over there, Benjamin Insurance Brokers. Can we get someone over there? Quick. He's angry.
I'm not an angry man. Quick question, more around an opportunity for you. I was wondering if you're doing any work with any of the major cold stores around the country, like Lineage and New Cold and others.
So we work with cold storage. I was actually chatting earlier to a colleague of mine. We worked with a medical supply company that was bringing in red blood cells. I mean, you can't get more complicated than that in terms of how often, you need to turn that because there are very stringent expiry times on that. So we work in multiple different environments. I think it's definitely worth a chat.
Excellent. Any more? We've got, the Forge Master. Oh, shit.
Kerry, great presentation, thank you. Tesla, I'm a bit of a fanboy, and they say that the Tesla product is not the car, but the factory, the manufacturing facility, their inventory control. They are something like 17 days, whereas the industry's 100. Have you got any other examples of industries that you've worked with where you've created competitive advantage?
Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite topics,
there you
Courtney,
go.
thank you. So what we did at Netstock, and why I've always loved the system, is they have evolved over time. Remember, I knew them when they were in the infancy stage. And we just performed an inventory benchmark report. So it's a KPI benchmark report globally, and we went to about 2,500 clients globally, and we wanted to understand what the general norm is for a couple of elements, one of which was lead time. And what was really interesting is how long our Australia, or let's just call it Australia, New Zealand lead times are relative to the rest of the world. I mean, you're looking at sometimes 50% more time spent on the water getting goods into our country than Europe and the States. And that's quite, you assume that it would be longer, but I don't think you realize how much longer it is. So if you've got a platform like ours and you're working in that type of environment, then not only could we show you what your true lead times are, I'm sure I could ask the gentleman again with Excel, tell me what your actual lead times are, and he probably, unfortunately, wouldn't be able to tell me that, whereas we measure that. So even though we might not we won't really assist with a reduction in lead time, unless you're able to have a conversation with your supplier. Better pipeline planning from you will be better pipelining planning for them, so that would make sense. But we are able to assist in investing in inventory that is more beneficial to your entity. So why would you invest in a long lead time for a product that's giving you a very little return of investment? So we are quite strategic in that perspective as well. So not only do we look at optimization, but we look at optimization within your entity and what that product does for your business at that point.
Excellent. Thank you, Gary. And if you want to learn more, definitely go out there, check out the Netstock booth, and she will actually go further. I'll leave everyone with a nice...
just the slide. Don't worry, Phil.
Oh, okay. I'll leave everyone with a nice little quote from Jack Ma. Opportunity lies in the place where the complaints are. There we go. Thank you for your time, Carrie.
Thank you, everybody. And we are outside. Please come chat to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.